To my regular viewers, I apologize in advance. I'm really not feeling well today. We had a lot going on over the weekend with another business I'm a part of with the Super Bowl at the casino and everything. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a rough Monday for me, and I wasn't able to get a video posted this weekend like I normally do. Felt like I needed to get one up today so we didn't have too much of a lag here on the channel. So I apologize if my voice is bad. I apologize if I'm not as energetic as I normally am. Hopefully this thing is not the COVID. If I continue to feel this way, I'm probably going to go get tested tomorrow. So we'll see. I hope everyone had a good Super Bowl weekend. Like I said, I headed to the casino for the weekend for the game, which is why I didn't get my usual video posted Sunday morning. I'm not even going to talk about the Super Bowl today because what is there to talk about? I've already mentioned several times over the past couple of weeks that Tom Brady's the greatest professional athlete of all time, of any sport. Second place, Michael Jordan, not even close. I mean, maybe not even close, but you get my point. I mean, Tom Brady has eclipsed everybody. We have talked all season about the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are not the same offense that they have been the past 2 years. That was abundantly clear Sunday night. To be honest, the Super Bowl was boring, anticlimactic. So there's really nothing to talk about. Now, Chiefs fans have no reason to feel despondent. Mahomes and the Chiefs will be back. He will play in multiple Super Bowls over the next 15 or so years. It's going to be interesting to watch him try to chase Tom Brady because I really believe that Patrick Mahomes could be the next GOAT. He could be the guy to eclipse the career of Tom Brady. He is that damn good. But the reigning GOAT, the reigning king of the NFL, he is not ready to give up his throne. And he made that statement clear Sunday night in Tampa. Now, let's go ahead and get to the topic of this video. It is officially unofficial. Drew Brees gave the first signal over the weekend that he is headed towards retirement. When I read the headline early Saturday morning when my NFL app went off with a notification, Drew Brees and the Saints agreed to restructure his contract. I initially thought Drew Brees is coming back next year. I had mixed feelings about it. As a Saints fan, I love Drew Brees. I am forever grateful for everything that he has done for the Saints and for the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana in general. But it's time for him to retire. Then, of course, I actually read the specifics of the article, and Drew Brees has agreed to restructure his contract to take less money. Way less money. The veterans minimum less money. Barely over $1 million a year. He was under contract this coming up season to make $25 million. That number is still far less than his market value. With the Saints being in the worst salary cap situation in the NFL this offseason, Drew Brees decided to help his team out. Gave them a $24 million salary cap savings. Now, while this doesn't officially mean that he is retiring, I mean, he's still yet to comment publicly on his status for next season. In my opinion, this is his way of signaling his retirement before the official announcement comes out. There's just no way that Drew Brees is going to come back next year and play for the veterans minimum. He's always been willing to help the Saints out in terms of his salary, at least the last, 3, 4, 5 years. Which is why he was willing to play for $10, $15 million less than he could have demanded from the Saints. But come on. He is not playing for $1 million. I mean, Drew Brees is a nice guy, but he ain't that nice. Last week when talking about Aaron Rodgers and his situation this offseason with the Packers, how he wants to exact revenge on Green Bay for drafting Jordan Love last year. This is exactly what I talked about Aaron Rodgers needing to do. Replicate Drew Brees. Obviously not to this extent. I mean, there's no way Aaron Rodgers is going to cut $24 million in salary. Nor would the players' union stand for it. It would tank the market for quarterbacks throughout the league if Aaron Rodgers took that kind of a pay cut. But it's the mindset I'm talking about. The mentality to sacrifice to help your team win. Drew Brees likely isn't even playing for the Saints next year. And he is still trying everything in his control to help them remain competitive, to help them remain a playoff contender. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. He is giving back to the franchise that saved his career, gave him a second chance when no one else in the NFL was willing to look at it. When this news was released over the weekend, fans in Pittsburgh got a little bit excited. Well, let me just rephrase that. Not all fans in Pittsburgh were excited, just the people who want to see Big Ben Roethlisberger back next season. They were excited. See, with Drew Brees agreeing to restructure, take 95% less money, and with Big Ben publicly stating that he's not worried about money at this point of his career, he's worried about winning, the Steelers should have no problem getting his contract situation resolved this offseason, right? Well, it's not that simple. Just to give you a little background, Big Ben's due to make about $19 million next season. But if the Steelers decide to retain him under his current contract, and they have to make this decision by mid-March, he hits their salary cap for $41 million. I think this goes without saying. At this point in his career, Big Ben is not worth $41 million on your salary cap, especially in a season where the cap's going down. Having him eat up damn near 25% of your cap is not worth it. I mean, hell, there's not a quarterback in the league worth 25% of your salary cap. That is a death sentence. The Steelers can get out of Big Ben's contract free and clear this offseason. No dead cap hit. Nothing. All the guaranteed money on his contract has been paid out. So at this point, unlike the Saints' position with Drew Brees deal in New Orleans, the Steelers owe Ben Roethlisberger nothing. Now, they are set to meet this week to discuss plans for his future. And I promise you, this meeting is about one thing and one thing only: money. Unlike Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, Big Ben doesn't have a lot of leverage over the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers has the Packers over a barrel. He holds all the cards, coming off an MVP season. While Big Ben, it looked like he could barely walk towards the end of last year. The Packers are stuck with Aaron Rodgers the next 2 years, whether they like it or not, unless they want to pay the exorbitant amount of dead cap money to trade him, which is not going to happen. The only leverage that Big Ben has over the Steelers right now is the fact that they don't have a quarterback on the roster that can step in week one and at least start and have a chance of winning. Mason Rudolph was a failure. And don't even get me started on that grown man who calls himself Doug. He's not even worth mentioning. Now, going into the meetings this week, I would imagine that Big Ben's going to want the $19 million that he's scheduled to make this season, at a minimum. However, like I've mentioned before, these legendary quarterbacks, they have egos. I know Big Ben is saying publicly that he doesn't care about money. He only cares about winning. And maybe that's true. But that's only true to a certain extent. Let the Steelers offer him the veterans minimum. See if he agrees. It ain't going to happen. We'll see how much Big Ben cares about money then. But like I said earlier, he couldn't accept that deal even if he wanted to, because the players' union is not going to stand for it. They would torch Big Ben if he did that. The problem if you're Ben Roethlisberger, with the only leverage that you have over the Steelers is the time that you've been there and your accomplishments with the Steelers, and that they don't have another quarterback on the roster, is that the quarterback market this offseason is saturated, which takes away most of Big Ben's leverage. Now, he's not the only problem offensively. The Steelers lack a running game. They need a number one wide receiver. But Ben Roethlisberger is a shell of the player that he used to be. I know we're seeing quarterbacks extend their careers right now, playing well into their 40s. Big Ben Roethlisberger is not going to be that guy. For one, Tom Brady and Drew Brees made a career out of avoiding hits, getting rid of the ball quickly so they don't take hits. Ben Roethlisberger made his career, made his name, by absorbing hits, extending plays in the pocket after first contact, being difficult to bring down. He was never afraid to take the hit, which you can handle when you're 25, 30 years old. But those hits add up over time. And as you age, your body can't handle it anymore. It takes longer to heal. So Big Ben finds himself in his late 30s, having to change his entire game. Plus, he's never kept himself in peak physical condition. LeBron James spends over $1 million every year keeping his body in elite shape. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, they stay in football shape year-round. Big Ben Roethlisberger? Hell, he makes headlines if he shows up to training camp being only 5 pounds overweight. If the Rooneys and Mike Tomlin, if they want Ben Roethlisberger back in Pittsburgh next year, they can find a way to make it happen. I mean, they can make it work. They can emulate the contracts of Drew Brees and Tom Brady, add voidable years after 2021 to his contract, which allows them to spread out his signing bonus over the added years to minimize the impact on their salary cap, allow them to have money to sign other players. But there's a big difference between Brees and Brady and Big Ben. They were still playing at a high level, and we haven't seen anything close to prime Big Ben in several years. With the number of quarterbacks available this offseason, and the Steelers having the option to walk away from Ben Roethlisberger with no financial consequences, this is the perfect time to do it, the perfect time to walk away. Because to be honest, using the strategy New Orleans and New England used, it's just kicking the can down the road. At some point, sooner rather than later, you're going to have to make the difficult decision to move on. Why not go ahead and make that decision now when it's in the franchise's best interest, at least financially? What do you guys think? Should the Steelers, should they bring back Big Ben next year or pursue one of the many available starting quarterbacks that are going to be available this offseason? Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like and subscribe. Click that notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. Twitter, KC_BTL84. I'll see you guys next time.